Hey guys, today we're going to play with the new NARS Claudette Collection that they so kindly sent over to me. It includes an eyeshadow palette, a blush and bronzer duo, and a lot of lipsticks in two formulas, one of which I believe is new. So we're going to be trying all of this on today, and they sent it over to me in this beautiful case, which I just had to show you because this is actually available for purchase on their site. So this is shaped like a gigantic evening clutch, and it has this NARS Claudette clasp in the front. It's not actually like a working clasp, it's just sort of a plaque. This whole thing is like magnetized shut, and there is this protective velvet piece here, but behind it there is a mirror. I just don't want to blind you, but there is a mirror behind there, which is really cool. And then inside there's the eyeshadow palette, the duo, and then all of the lip products. Sorry, I'm trying to angle it so that the light isn't blinding you. So all of the lip products. So this is actually available for you on the NARS Cosmetics site, which of course I'll link for you down below in the description box. But you can basically pick out of this Claudette collection what you want to go into this keepsake box, which is what they call it. And it's really, really heavy. I'm actually struggling holding this up for you. It's really, really heavy. It is incredibly sturdy. There are hinges in the back here, and it's like gold all the way around. It's really gorgeous. And these are hearts, not just polka dots. It's really beautiful. It's really, really well made. And so I just wanted to point out to you that this is available for purchase if you are interested. So I have some base products down. I actually use the NARS Tinted Glow Booster in the shade, it's medium, but the shade name is called Simos, I believe is how it's pronounced. I could be slaughtering that. But I like using these kind of like tinted highlighters as a base product sometimes. And this one is really quite lovely because it gives me just a little bit of color. The medium is like just a little bit deeper than my natural skin tone. The highlight to this product is very, very subtle. So it's a really nice base product when you don't want to go like full foundation. And then I just use a little spot concealing like around my eyes and my face. And then I powdered. So I'm all ready to try some of these products in here. So I'm going to pull out the duo first. So here is what the duo looks like. Here's a close-up of the packaging. Look at the beautiful butterflies on there. And then we have the names of the products on the back. And when I hauled this, if you guys caught my haul video yesterday or the day before, I was really pleasantly surprised to see that this wasn't like an Orgasm Laguna duo, that these two products, I've actually never seen these names before. So I don't know if these are exclusive to this Claudette collection, if they're new to this Claudette collection, or maybe I just haven't seen these names before. But this is what the product looks like. Really beautiful, light in tone. And this looks to be like a pressed powder formula. So I'm gonna go into this shade on the right-hand side here. It is like a neutral beigey color. I'm gonna use it as a bronzer. I think it'll work, but I think this will also work as a blush, as like a nice neutral blush. But I've got my Refer 04 brush. This is like the slanted cheek brush. And I'm just gonna sweep it over that bronzer side. That shade, by the way, is called Ninochka. I think. Ninochka. There is quite a bit of peach in this shade, and I do think this will actually be a great, great blush. But because it's a little bit deeper than my skin tone, I think I can get away with using it kind of as like a bronzer or bronzer situation. But I wonder if you guys can see that. It's a really, really pretty like peachy undertone. It's really quite lovely. And the formula of this product is really interesting. When I just kind of finger swatched it, it almost feels like a fabric with texture to it, almost like a grosgrain ribbon. And I don't feel like I can actually pick up a lot of product to swatch. But once I get it on my brush, I feel like I got plenty of product. So this is the side with the Ninochka down, and then this is the side without. So you can see that there is quite a bit of pigment, but when I finger swatched it, I have to say I was a little bit nervous because I thought maybe there wasn't going to be a lot going on. This Refer brush is a natural haired brush, which does pick up product a lot more easily than synthetic haired brushes. So I just want to try it with a synthetic haired brush. I've got my little Charlotte Tilbury powder brush here, and I'm going to try and apply it to this side of my face. It seems to be picking up product. Let's see. So I do think the Refer brush picked up more product, but this is picking up some. And here it is with the Charlotte Tilbury brush, and here it is with the Refer brush. I do feel like there's a bit more pigment here. But if you have a synthetic brush, I do think it will work. You just may have to build it up a bit if you want a little bit more pigment. Very pretty tone. It works really well with my very, very pale winter skin. So I'm just gonna brush a little bit more of this kind of all over just to, you know, make me look a little healthier. Next, let's go ahead and try this blush side out, this peachy side out, and I believe this shade name is called Croisette. I'm sure I am slaughtering that, but I want to use this as blush. I've got my Surratt slanted cheek brush. Again, this was a shade when I finger swatched it, I thought, I'm not sure if it's going to really make much of an impact on my skin tone, but this is really quite pretty. And there's something really nice about the formula. You know, these aren't like shimmery products at all, but they're not exactly matte. I don't know if you can see that kind of like sheen to them in the pan, almost like they have a satin sheen, but it's not exactly visible in the pan. Anyway, it's just a really, really interesting kind of formula. Wow, I look, you know, flushed. I look I look heated with this blush on. Really pretty. So that is the blush duo. Let's go ahead and move into the eyeshadow palette. So here is a close-up of the eyeshadow palette. It has hearts on the outside, really beautiful. And on the inside, we have 6 shades here. We have 3 shimmer shades on top and then 3 matte shades on the bottom. Now on the top row, the first and the third shades have the most kind of sparkle to them. The shade in the middle is more of like a satin. And again, the last 3 shades are matte shades. So because all of the matte shades in here are a little bit too deep and then all of the shimmer shades are a little bit too light, I am going to grab the blush duo and actually use this shade, the bronzer shade, as like a transition shade for me. And I'm going to start there. All right, I've got my Refer number 7 brush. All right, so I've got my Sonia G Worker 1 brush. I'm going to go into the bronzer here and lay that down as my transition. Oh, I think that makes a decent transition. You can really see like the peachy undertones to that bronzer now that it's on my eyelids. So from the palette, I'm gonna go into this center bottom matte shade here, and I've got my Sonia G Mini Booster Brush, and I'm just gonna add this to the outer corners. It's a really pretty, like deep mauve-y shade. I'm gonna take that Sonia G brush and just blend as I go, soften up the edges a little. Ooh, this shadow is really blending out beautifully. Like the edges are so blown out. Next, I'm going to take this Refer number 2 brush, which is like a flat shader brush, and go into the center top shade. That's that satin shade. Apply this to the inner portion of my lid. It's a nice, soft, like vanilla shade. And I want to smoke things out just a little bit. So I've got this Refer number 12 brush, and I'm going to go into the deepest matte shade here and just drag this along my lash line. And then take the same brush and go back into this center matte shade and drag this along my lower lash line. And then one last step, I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to go into this first very sparkly shade. I'm going to tap that all over my lid. Just add a little sparkle everywhere. Just a really light layer over the entire lid. All right, I'm just gonna curl my lashes. And then I'm gonna go in and apply some of the NARS Climax Extreme Mascara. All right, eyes are done. Let's move on to lips. So we have some Audacious Sheer Matte Lipsticks. I think this is the new formula. There are 6 new shades. I have 5 of them, and there are 3 different patterns. So some of the colors come with the butterfly, some come with the 4-leaf clover, and then some have the hearts. And here is a close look at the bullet. It has like a very matte appearance to it. Actually reminds me of like the Pat McGrath matte trans lipsticks. And then here are swatches of the 5 colors that I have. From left to right, we have Anay, Bernice, Matild, Sandrine, and Sylvie. So first let me lip swatch Anay. Oh wow, yeah, they are kind of sheer. They're definitely matte. I feel like this color is a little bit too light for me. It's so weird. Like I always equate sheer with like balmy and glossy and, you know, kind of juicy lips. I don't think I've ever tried a sheer matte lip formula. This definitely is very different, at least for me. I don't think I've ever tried like a sheer matte lip formula. It's very interesting. I do think it makes my lips look a little dry, but there is the shade Anay. Next we have Bernice. Wow, I have to say I'm very, very intrigued by this lip formula because they're sheer but matte. I feel like I'm getting like that blurred line, like popsicle lip look, like immediately, like automatically. That's like what these lipsticks have. It's really interesting. So that is Bernice, a really lovely like warm red. And then next I'm gonna try Matild. So there's Matild. It's just a little bit deeper than Anay. My lips are getting really dry. I don't know if you guys can see the little cracks in my lips. You know what this formula is like? It's almost like if you powdered your lips with this color, with this pigment. It's like a powdering of it. It's really interesting. Next we have Sandrine. I also feel like it's a little bit difficult, and I'm noticing it with like the deeper colors, to get like a nice kind of even layer of the color. It really is so interesting. It looks like there's a filter over my lips. So this Sandrine shade is definitely a bit cooler than Bernice, which had like a little bit of like an orange to the red. This one is definitely a little bit more primary, even a teensy bit pink in there. Okay, and last but not least for these sheer matte lipsticks, this one is Sylvie. There is Sylvie. This I feel like is kind of between Bernice and Sandrine in terms of tone. Not quite as warm, not quite as pinky cool as Sandrine. I am really so intrigued by this formula. If you guys have tried this new formula from NARS, will you please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. All right, and now let's try the 4 new Audacious lipsticks. These have, again, like the heart packaging, the clover packaging. Of course, these have a black background with the red pattern. Butterfly again. And the only one that's different, I don't know if maybe this is on the Anouk that I don't have of the sheer matte, but we have stars now. So here are some swatches of the 4 shades that I have, and these are all 4 of the new shades. So first we have Augustine, next we have Claudette, next is Jeanette, and last is Leia. And as I mentioned, when I hauled this, I have an extra layer. They sent an extra Leia to me. So this is actually gonna go into my big 2020 giveaway that I mentioned in my last video of Mishmish. So this is gonna go into that giveaway. Okay, let me start with Augustine. And these are in just the straight up Audacious lipstick formula, which I believe is just a satin formula. Ooh. This is my kind of nude. Oh, I love this. Little cool toned. And I am not that well versed in my like NARS lipstick formulas. I think actually this could be my first or second time possibly trying an Audacious lipstick. And these are really, really creamy. I am really liking and enjoying the way this feels on my lips. So that is Augustine. Next we have Claudette. Here is Claudette. A really beautiful reddish orange. Love it. You guys know how much I love this tone. Next we have Jeanette. This is a really beautiful deep color. Wow, this could be the worst application of lipstick I've ever done, but there's Jeanette. Hopefully you can get a sense of the color. My lips are starting to get stained, so I'm glad we're on the last color here. This one is Leia. And here is Leia. And that is it for this NARS Claudette collection. I am Really loving the blush duo. This is much more pigmented on my complexion than I thought. I think it is actually really quite bright, especially that blush. I thought this was going to be a little bit too pale for me, but I think it looks really lovely. The eyeshadow palette, out of the, how many shades did I use? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 6 shades that I used in here. Really enjoying it. I also didn't really point out when I was applying it, but there is no fallout from those sparkly shades, which I am really pleasantly surprised at. So really looking forward to using this eyeshadow palette more. The Audacious lipsticks are gorgeous. I really love the Augustine, the nude shade for sure, and the Claudette shade. This red orange shade, if you guys are a fan of this color tone the way I am, my God, you're gonna love this. And the jury is still out on these sheer matte lipsticks. I think they're really unique. I am very intrigued by the finish that I get with my lips, because they're not just like sheer and matte, but they do look very powdery and they look very filtered on the lips. Just really interesting. So I'm definitely gonna have to play around with these more, kind of develop more of an opinion on them, but the jury is still out on those. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.